developments. So basically, either you don't have a standard SAP program for your business requirement, or you couldn't find a suitable enhancement to enhance the standard SAP application, because enhancements are not guaranteed for every program. They are available only if SAP feels they are required. Otherwise, it's not mandatory that for every standard SAP program you'll find a suitable enhancement, right? So you couldn't find an enhancement and you're really not comfortable modifying standard SAP programs, then you can simply go ahead and create your own programs. What we generally do is, whenever we get a requirement to enhance a standard SAP program, first thing we'll do is see if SAP has given us any enhancements. Okay, there are different techniques we use to find the available enhancements for a given application, so which we'll be discussing when we reach there. So using those techniques, we can find all the available enhancements for a given application, and there are quite a few ways to enhance them. So it's a pretty big topic, enhancements. So we'll be spending a lot of time in discussing the concept of enhancements in SAP. So we'll first try to find an enhancement. If we find it, we'll implement it. If we don't find it, then you have two options. Either you go ahead and modify the program to change the code to meet your requirement, or you develop your own program. So many companies are not really comfortable modifying the programs. Some companies do modify, but not many companies I've seen are really not comfortable. That's the last option they want to keep, modification. So what we do is, like for example, you have a standard SAP application, it is meeting 97% of your requirement. Only 3% you want to modify it, but you really don't have an enhancement to do that, and you're not comfortable to modify it. Then we have another option where we can copy the standard program into our customer program and then make the changes. So in our company, the users, instead of using the standard program, they'll use the new program which we have created by copying the standard program. So you're keeping the original program intact, standard SAP, and you're copying it. But again, that has its own challenges, where if SAP updates something in the new program, then you have to ensure that those updates are also reflecting in your copied program. So maintenance wise, it can also become a headache. There is no one way of doing things. There's no fixed rule that we follow. Based on the requirement, based on the importance and the time it takes to implement those changes, we decide whether we, but our first preference would always be enhancements when it comes to extending the functionality of a standard SAP application. But if we don't have enhancements, then we'll see, based on a lot of things, we decide whether we want to modify it or we want to develop a new application. Okay, so these are the different things we do to customize standard SAP software. So you enhance it, you modify it, or you develop a new application from the scratch. So here you can see, when you're modifying the program, you are actually going and changing the program directly, right? Whereas in enhancement, SAP is providing you a plug or an opening where you can write your own code and insert that, so that when this standard SAP program is running, then it will call your code and it will execute this code, okay, whatever code you are writing. So this is enhancement. And customer namespace is completely your own. So this exists only in your system. Okay, the standard programs exist in every system, in every company where they have implemented SAP, and enhancements will be part of your system. These are something you are developing in your company, and customer programs are your complete custom developments which do not exist in any other SAP systems. Okay, so there is a namespace. All the program names that start from A to X are reserved for SAP. So if you see any program name that is starting from either A to X, any alphabet, then that is reserved for SAP. And your customer program should be, you should use either Y or Z. That is the customer namespace. So any programs that are starting with Z are your custom programs. So that's why if you see, when I created this program, I put the program name starting with Z. I said Z demo enhancements. If I don't use Z or Y to create a program, then the system will not allow me to do it. It will ask me for an access key. So I have to enter the access key because it is assuming that I am creating a standard SAP program, right? So this is our customer namespace, Z or Y. So when SAP is providing these openings in the code, then that opening will be in the customer namespace. So when you're upgrading your system, all the programs that reside in your customer namespace won't be affected with the changes, with the upgrade. Only the programs in the SAP namespace will be updated. So any new program, any object that you are creating in ABAP should start with Z or Y. So that's why even the function module which I've created, I've named it Z demo. Okay. So modification means you are actually changing in the SAP namespace. Enhancement means the object exists in SAP namespace, but the opening they are providing is in the customer namespace. So you're writing the code in the customer namespace. And new development means you are completely developing something in a customer namespace. So what type of developments we do? What are the typical developments we do in ABAP? We create, there's an acronym called RICEF, reports, interfaces, conversion programs, extensions, and forms. So reports are typical programs which have which have this read-only access to the database. So for example, let's say you have created all the orders in your system. Every day you're creating hundreds of orders in your system, and you want to create a report to see how many orders are created in a particular given period of time. Or you want to have a report which says what are the top 5 orders we received. So like that, you already have the data in your system. You have posted this data while performing various activities like creating orders and all this stuff. And now you can create reports to make some sense out of that data. So to see where your business is going on. So typically reports provide read-only access to the data. So when you develop a report, you're basically pulling the data from the database and processing it, applying the business logic, and then showing it to in a output screen. That is a typical report transaction. So we'll develop these reports in ABAP. So again, as I said, with ABAP, we can develop this GUI-based application. So all these reports, the user will be running in SAP GUI. So where there are different techniques we use to generate these reports. They are like classical reports, ALV reports. So we'll be learning a lot about these reports as we progress in the course. So we'll be dedicating few classes just for reports. So you know that different ways in which you can create these reports. And then we have interface programs. Interface basically means, as the name suggests, it's an interface between your SAP system and an external system. So let's say you have one non-SAP system and you want to you're developing one application in that non-SAP system, but you want to work with the data that is stored in the SAP system. Then we can create interface programs, which can be called by these external programmers to either read the data or post the data in your SAP system. So there are two scenarios. One is an inbound interface and an outbound interface. So in inbound interface, as you can see, you have your legacy system or an external system, and from this system, you are posting the data into your SAP system. Okay, so we use different things like we have BAPIs or inbound, outbound interface programs that we can develop. So there are different types of programs we can develop to achieve this functionality. So in inbound, you're having the data in an external system and you're moving that data to your SAP system. So we are posting the data into your SAP system. In an outbound system, in an outbound interface, you're actually extracting the data from your SAP system and making it available for the external system. Okay, so that is your outbound interface. So this is your interface programs. As I said, we have like business APIs, BAPIs, which we generally use for using these interface programs. So it's a pretty big topic. There are different interface programs that we can create. So again, we'll be discussing all about these interface programs later in the course. And then we have conversion programs. Conversion programs are also kind of interface programs, but the major difference is that interface programs are used frequently. So for example, let's say you have an external application that is used to create a purchase order, and whenever the user inputs some data and clicks on post submit, then that data should be updated in your SAP system. So for that, they'll call a BAPI and pass the data to the BAPI, and the BAPI will update the data in your SAP system. That's a regularly used application. So every time they're creating a purchase order, this BAPI is called. Conversion programs are typically one-time used. So when you first implement your SAP system, for example, then you must be using some other system already, and you want to move all your data from your legacy system to your SAP system. Whatever system you're currently using before implementing SAP is called a legacy system. So you already have your master data in that. You already have all your customer information. You already have all your materials data. So all that data you want to move to your SAP system before go live. So that is a typical conversion programs, and these are typically used only once before go live. But they are not designed or meant to be used frequently. Even though you can use it, but they are not meant to be used frequently. So you just develop these conversion programs where you're converting external data into SAP format and then updating that in your SAP system. So those are your typical conversion programs. So we have this LSMW, Legacy System Migration Workbench tool, which SAP provides, which you can use to develop a conversion program. So where you can move data from legacy system to SAP system pretty easily. And we also have this BDC, batch data communication. You can also use BAPIs, and there's something called iDocs. So all this we can use for both interface and conversion programs. So we'll be discussing more about them. Those are fairly advanced topics, so we'll be discussing once we are done with all the basics of ABAP. So we'll develop those type of programs in SAP, conversion programs. And with the latest SAP 7.5 version, what has changed is, in fact, from 7.4 onwards, SAP has provided better integration options. So now we have much more options to integrate your SAP system with external systems. Then extensions. Extensions basically anything where you are extending the functionality of an SAP software. So either you can extend it by implementing enhancements, or you can extend it by modifying the standard program, or by creating a new program, or there are also some third-party add-ons that you can install in your SAP system, which will extend the functionality for you. So there are many third-party vendors who develop these interface programs, which you can just implement in your SAP system, and it will extend the functionality of your SAP system. So those you can use. So we'll be working on all these type of extension programs. Then forms, this is another, reports and forms are some of the major developments that we do. So most of the times we'll be either developing reports or forms in SAP. As an ABAP consultant, we'll be doing a lot of these developments. So forms is like, let's say you created a purchase order. Now you want to, or you created an invoice in the system and you want to take a printout of that invoice and send it to your customer. Now, there are certain legal requirements on the format the invoice should have, what information the invoice should contain. So forms allow you to design the format better, design the layout better. They work similar to reports where they are extracting data from the database and displaying in the output. But with reports, there is certain restrictions on how you can display the data on the screen. Whereas with the forms, it comes with a better layout editor, which you can use to really arrange your document whichever way you want. So a typical invoice will have the payer information, the ship to party information, the item information, all these things. So you can use forms to create any documents that basically you need to take a printout, and that has some legal requirements that you have to follow. So like sales orders, purchase orders, delivery documents, invoices, for all this we create these forms, so that once you create the order in the system, you can take a printout of that order and send it to your customers. These are your forms. So in forms we have three types: SAP scripts, which is kind of obsolete. We no more use them much, but there are many companies that still use them. So we'll be discussing SAP scripts also in this course. Then we have Adobe Forms. Then we have Smart Forms. So originally it was SAP Scripts. Then SAP made it better by introducing Smart Forms, and they made it even better with Adobe Forms. So these are the three technologies we use to create forms: SAP Scripts, Smart Forms, and Adobe Forms. So we'll be discussing all these three technologies in this course. So to develop forms, these are the typical developments we do as an ABAP consultant: reports, interface programs, conversion programs. Extension basically means any enhancement, like enhancing the standard SAP or developing your own programs, and then forms. Okay. So as you can see, the kind of applications we are developing in ABAP are mostly business related applications. So these are business applications, by which I mean you are basically collecting some data and updating in the database, or else you are extracting the data that is there in the database and doing something with that data. So either you are generating a report out of that data, or using an interface, you are pushing this data to an external system. For example, let's say you have a business partner and you want to, the moment a sales order is created or a purchase order is created in your system, you want to automatically send this to your business partner. So you can integrate your system with your business partner system using this EDI or ALE technologies. And the moment you update or create a document in your system, and via ALE or EDI, you can push this to your business partner system. So the same data of your purchase order. So you're basically playing with the data when you're developing these business applications. So either you're, while creating a sales order, for example, you're capturing the data and updating that in the database, or once all the sales orders are created, you are creating a report, for example, to generate some kind of statistics out of that data. So in business applications, this is what you do overall. You are simply playing with the data, either moving from one system to the other system or one place to the other place. For regular programmers, for example, let's say you're working as a programmer in LinkedIn or Facebook, the kind of programming they do is quite different. They don't develop business applications, right? For example, as a developer in Facebook, you could be, developing or some program which can scan through or read the activities the particular user is performing in his account to identify the next story he could be interested in, so that you can show it in his feed. So those are more complex algorithms that you'll be developing. Similarly, once I create my LinkedIn account, it will automatically try to find out my connections via my email ID, or else it will try to find out second degree, third degree connections. So to develop these kind of applications, you need to write much more complex algorithms, and that is a bit complicated. So as a non-programmer, if you're trying to get into that role, it really becomes very challenging, because you need to know a lot about programming. Basically, you need to have that mind or that logical thinking and all these things. So you should have been a computer science graduate, because this is something you develop over a period of time. It's not something you just do or learn in a course and then you'll be good at it. In ABAP, we don't do any of those things. We don't really write complex algorithms in ABAP. So that's why I say any person, irrespective of whether you have some programming background or no, you can still learn ABAP, because it's more about developing business applications, nothing complex about it. So we don't really deal with complex algorithms, or you really don't need to know data science or these kind of things. Generally, when you go through an engineering course, for 4 years they'll be teaching you a lot of algorithms, different types of algorithms. So you don't need to know any of those things to learn ABAP. You just need to have some business understanding. You need to understand what exactly the user is trying to achieve to fulfill the business requirement, and accordingly develop your applications. And it will be mostly to play with the data. So you have the data in the database and you process that data in some manner as per the business requirement. So that way, ABAP programming is very simple compared to other kind of programming that generally we do. So when we talk about developing web applications, it can really get complex, because based on the scenario, you could be dealing with quite a few complex algorithms in your code. In ABAP, we really don't do any of those things. It's pretty simple in terms of development. But ABAP is proprietary programming language to SAP, So we use the development environment provided by SAP. Initially, it may take some time for you to understand the different tools that we use for doing different things. For example, if you want to create a PHP program, or if you want to learn PHP, you can start in the morning, and by the evening you can be ready with one small application, because there's very little you need to understand in terms of the development environment. You just write the code. So you just need to understand the code, and you can write some code and maybe have one small application ready by the evening. But with ABAP, just to get started with the code, you need to know a lot of things. You need to know the different tools available for doing different things. You need to know the different keywords that we use for different things, because in most cases you just need to use one keyword and it will do a lot of things for you. You don't need to write 10 lines of code for that. Unlike other programming languages, in SAP we have quite a few keywords, in ABAP especially. For example, a programming language like Go, I think it has around 30 or 40 keywords at the maximum overall. But in ABAP, we have hundreds and thousands of keywords. So it will take some time for you to get familiar with the keywords that you can use it while writing your ABAP programs. It will take a little time for you to feel comfortable with the tools that we use to do different things, to develop different things. So that initial learning curve is there when it comes to learning ABAP. So once you get past that, it really becomes very easy. So maybe you'll take 1 week, 10 days to feel comfortable. But once you create a couple of programs, you should start feeling really comfortable. And you'll also realize that you are able to get a lot of things done by writing very few lines of code. So that way it really saves your time, the development time, when you're developing any applications in ABAP. Okay, so that's all I wanted to discuss in this session. And see you in the next video.